that. Kind of eyeball here a little bit. I don't think that's too bad. I'll go ahead and thin out a little bit just to make it a little less unbearable. See, I'm still here. It's off to the side. Trying to see how colors such look, which looks a little funky. Interesting. Well, also notice my TV itself does not have very much very bright color coming out compared to the other capture, which is also fascinating to me. Let's try to fix that real quick. I'm going to go to actual picture. We get some, I don't know if that's like refresh rate or what. There's gotta be something up with that. I mean, obviously there's something up with it, but let's see here. Let's go to picture. Go with game for now. And then guide. Guide, no. We want menu. Sure. It's up these colors too. It's like way too blue. Colors off. Well, intensity is not the issue. Let's see here, more picture. Yeah, normal is about close to what we want, I think. Alright. Well, anyway, for those of you who may have been watching or joining, welcome to this, again, very casual stream as I've been doing lately. As of right now, what I'm trying to do is, there we go. Ooh, that's a lot better. Adjust your gamma a little bit. That did the trick. I'm trying to adjust settings I have. That's still a little too wide here even. Settings I have in OBS and my capture device to, in theory, capture DOS footage. At least do a decent job of it. As per a discussion that my brother and I have been having for a bit. Trying to figure out how to best capture this footage given the crazy refresh rates it can have and resolutions, things of that nature. So here we are right now, and after we talked for a bit, I was like, you know what, let me check some of this out, see what's going on, see if I can figure something out with this. So I was using Warcraft just because I knew I had that installed right now. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. There's an auto adjust that occurs on my capture device. Interesting. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah, still kind of at the bottom now. What is up with that? I don't get what the auto adjustment going on is with this too. So yes, but that's not the only thing going on here, and it's actually much more difficult than that even. Welcome to the stream, by the way, David. Part of the issue is that, at least with some of this DOS games, I believe what's happening is, yeah, see, it's reading the signal as 640 by 288p, which is not correct. That's not what the resolution is of this. There we go. Now it reads the resolution correctly, now it reads it. There's, what you end up having is, you have crazy resolutions that come up in the, that's being reported via the signal, to the monitor or whatever capture device is going to be looking at the footage. And sometimes there are weird resolutions, like for instance right now this is 720 by 400. Let me put like, here, let me show you something here. Maybe this will be of interest. Let's see if I can pull this off. Ah! Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Close that. I think that'll keep it open. Let me add another window capture here. We'll call it, let's call it capture settings. And I'm going to have this be with, maybe I have to do something else fancy for this. It's not going to let me get away with it that easily, huh? Okay, let's do it like, not that, we'll get rid of that. Let's add a display capture, that's what I want. We'll do that for now. What's that? Display, goes display 2. There, that's a way of doing that right now. I'm not sure how well that will show up. We'll put it like here-ish, I guess. I don't know how I want to do this. What's the easiest way for this? That, X that out. Let's look at, say, okay, let's shrink this down a little bit. Say, all this what I want. Let's do it like that. And let's see, how well does that show up on the stream here? Ah, you can read some of that, okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and put this, put the watermark above it. We'll do that for now. So, yes, monitor capture. That's what I decided to go with here. So what we're looking at here is the main sort of settings I have to mess with for my capture device. Just as an intro for that, what we have, let's switch this up a little bit. More of an angle over here to what we got. Let's see how I look. I might be a little bit out of focus. That's not too bad. All right. I'll go ahead and mic myself up here. So what we got going on is we have some deinterlacing options, which honestly don't work very well. Do I have yeah, I got a cursor. Awesome. We have various video input, which these are all the video inputs that are available on my device. Excellent. On the 4K device, you can read all. I am sitting on more video devices. Great. Let's get that off. All right, so we have various inputs here. We see HDMI, DVI, digital component, which also can be worked as DVI analog. VGA, which also sync on green's available, SDI, composite, S-video, and then an auto detect for inputs. I have some other little tick boxes here, such as a single resolution output. If you have, for instance, you have a device such as a DOS machine or something, might be having varying resolution outputs to try to normalize all of it to one single resolution output, which has varying results. I've done some experimentation with DOS so far, and it hasn't been the best. You have frame rate adjustment, which I've adjusted to try to minimize some visual artifacting that would go on. For instance, let me see if I can pull this off here. If I turn that off, I don't know if I can reproduce it right now. I probably can't reproduce it right now because I have to close the window, but I don't want to do that right now. I should probably do it like this. And then let's do it like this here. There we go. That way I can actually see my OK and cancel here too. Anyway, so we have some tick boxes here I can work with for frame rate adjustment, things of that nature. I can also create customized resolution outputs, which OBS allows me to do anyway, so that's not a big deal. Also, maximal resolution support, which I'm not exactly sure what that option does, but I haven't had to use any other kind of resolution support beyond customizing particular resolutions in OBS, because some of the settings allow me to, actually I can show you right here. I'll do like this. So right here is my main way of customizing my OBS settings for, or at least my source I'm using in OBS. I have this resolution in which I manually put in at 720 by 400 for DOS, but I have all these other resolutions that it's supported by default, from 160 by 120 all the way up to 1920 by 1080. So resolution support isn't super difficult with this device. It's a matter of finding the right frame rate and adjusting for changing resolutions as the game source changes. So frames per second, I just put a default and NTSC just to try to find a stable, non-auto switching setting for a DOS machine. And you can mess with color spaces, color ranges, frame buffering. So I have video buffering and audio buffering enabled here to try to keep things in sync with my sources. I only have it capture for auto mode, capture the audio only from the actual audio of the device itself, aka what you're hearing. That's that. So back to this. So we also have what the device reads, which has probably been the most helpful bit of information when I'm trying to figure out what I want to set up. It gives me my resolution in which the device reads, which again will change based on what I'm exiting. So for instance, if I exit the DOS here, you'll notice that no signals detected, and then it starts reading it at 640 by 45, and just defaults that because of whenever it's switched to resolution, you can imagine that the analog signal is kind of changing on the fly, right? And because of that, the device tries to automatically adjust to what it finds, and that's what you end up having. So for instance, if I just switch some settings here to try to trick this thing into rereading the signal, I should be able to kick this back to reading the resolution properly on this, if I can. Let me see if I can do that real quick. I don't know if I can or not. Hope I can. I've done it before. Let's try auto scale. Nope. Come on, baby. Well, if I go back to war real quick. You'll notice that again it goes back to 640 by 216, which isn't exactly what we're looking for here. There we go. All of a sudden it fixes itself, doesn't it? Now I think I have to re-stretch my display here if I'm not mistaken. No, that still stays. Okay. Yeah, 'cause it hasn't changed itself. So you notice where we start switching various views and windows. However, the capture device is actually reading the resolution and reporting it. That's changing whenever I'm switching between DOS prompt and things like that. So my goal for looking at the device now is I want to stabilize that. I want to be able to have one resolution constantly forced on the device and display as no matter what. This being 640 by 400. It appears to be the resolution that most of this is rocking at, and it would hopefully save me from having to do a lot of manual intervention when I'm capturing DOS footage, as you see right now what's happening. Now, I appear to have a lot of options. I even have some video decoder options, which a lot of it's, you know, CCAM, PAL, NTSC. I have some other options here which I've used for adjusting color space in the past. You may have seen me making some adjustments with, say, when I was switching between HDMI sources and analog sources. Even for the fitness stream, I would have to change these around to make sure the color is not blown out. I noticed with HDMI, a lot of times the color is a little too dark. So I had to make some manual adjustments there. A lot of eyeballing. That's concern number one. Concern number two, you'll notice, let's see if I go back to the menu here. At least for Warcraft right now, and I think some other footage as well, you notice there's like a shadow right on the left side. And you notice how even reading the signal, you start getting a little bit of a discoloration on the left, on the graphics as well. This is not a new problem. I've heard of other devices having this, so I think it's solvable. I just haven't correctly identified or articulated what it is yet. So that is another challenge I'm facing here. I'm going to text Sam real quick to see if he's on the stream. See if he wants to get in on this discussion here. Now, another thing to keep in mind as well is the actual, I guess this would be perhaps a decoder chip of some sort, whatever video chip is used when I'm capturing this footage and it's interpreting resolution, frame rate, all this stuff, is, I believe it's a similar build or architecture to what the FrameMeister uses, if not the same chip. So a lot of these options should also be available functionally on the chip with the FrameMeister. That's also why this device seems to be a bit more flexible than some other cheaper solutions. Apparently I texted saying I'm steaming DOS instead of streaming DOS. So here we are. But that's been a challenge. And it starts with trying to figure out what the exact problem is. What's also interesting is I have various CPU support up here, which I believe that is for my actual capture box that's running this. In terms of using the CPU to actually capture and decode video that's coming through the VGA signal. Or in this case also encode to probably H.264 or something like that, depending on what's going to be used. Let's see here. So that's that. That still doesn't get me to what's happening here. Now, other options I've noticed, I have this offset, which I can use to offset the signal. Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've seen it, which is switching between progressive and interlaced, which part of that would be, can I force the resolution to be one or the other, right? And this is like swapping varying different resolutions all at the same time into very strange, irregular resolutions, typically very low resolutions. Let's see if I can bring up another example here. So I can quit out of this. think I have terminal velocity on here. Yeah. Which unfortunately I do not have sound set up on this yet because it's got issues. It's reading this at 640 by 322. What? Somehow I doubt that. There you go, 640 by 400. That is what it is. So, we can see again, I'll go ahead and quiet display 2 real quick. With that like with me just simply forcing a reread of the footage, we get a much more representative look of the capture. Again, some of the right-hand side is actually not correct. I don't think I have an offset set. I don't have an offset set. If I do say, no, I want Alt, I think. Yeah. It's completely cut off. So, even then, I'm not exactly sure what all is. So this is my actual USB 3 HD cap device I've been using, Sam. And I can show you again kind of what I was showing Huddleston. This is the main properties window I get to work with when I'm making adjustments. What I'm noticing right now, and I'm trying to study, is the switching resolution between, firstly, looking at the changing resolution between DOS prompt and a game, which looks like typically it's being outputted as 640 by 400 when it's stabilized. And then how to account for weird visual artifacts. In this case, let's see if I can bring up, get out the demo here real quick. Come on. No, I don't want to quit the game. Which I don't know, actually, yes, I think it's still happening. You'll notice on the far left of the DOS footage, there's a black vertical bar that's occurring, and also on the right-hand side. So for however the footage is being reported, maybe playing a game will also show this a little bit better. We'll go ahead and quiet down the other display here real quick. But you'll notice there's some weird cutting off of color or some of the graphics on the left and right hand side. In particular, there we go, yep. You'll see on the far left there is a darkened vertical bar, which I believe is usually how it's reading the refresh rate of, or the, not the refresh rate, but however it's reading, interpreting the horizontal and vertical lines. Something's being misread, thus it's, I think the vertical lines are being read out of sync of the horizontal lines for whatever reason. Furthermore, you'll notice on the far right hand side, you may notice the radar is cut off on the right hand side, and that's not what representative of what I'm seeing on my screen today. Apparently I can't play this game one-handed very well. So we're getting some weird graphical issues with how this capture device works. Beyond that, however, you'll notice there's a lot less jail barring going on than previously, though we still have some going on with the capture device itself, which again might be a refresh rate issue of how it's reading the footage, or it might be something to do with the installation or splitting of the VGA signal I have going on right now. That's what I've been trying to investigate at the moment. Again, if we go back to here, I've been seeing how there's single resolution output. I can do a frame rate adjustment setting here. Let's go ahead and do that. And then if we go back to, oops. Go back to here, we still see that we have some of that darkening going on. I mean, some of it's just, draw distance with the game, but then you'll see, yeah, you see some of the brightness sort of changing, the jail barring. I have to double check with if it's how I'm splitting the VGA signal as well, because I could be introducing interference to the line, and that could also affect how I capture the footage. So that has to be ruled out. The easiest way of doing that probably would be, see if we can just do that now. I don't have to try to play the game. You know what? Let's try this real quick. Let me bring back up my properties window, just so I have it up for myself. There we are. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see if we use a single VGA source on this, if that will. Let me think here. I'm thinking. It's in my head. If we reduce the amount of interference occurring on this, if that is contributing to what we're seeing in terms of issues with the footage. Now, with that being said, oh yeah, I think I didn't get to show you, but I showed Huddleston. The actual resolutions this device will support out of the box. Well, not out of the box. After you use the what is the Micron Soft, I think, or something like that. The company that makes the FrameMeister and the actual chip that's being used underneath the hood. After you install the Japan product equivalent drivers, I mean, the resolutions this supports is shrunken significantly, actually. Is it because of the frame rate? Or because of, yeah, is it because of the FPS I set on it? It wasn't doing that before. Interesting. So say if I go to single resolution output and I turn that off. Cancel that. So before it was giving me a very extensive list of resolutions I could use. Okay, so single resolution output limits my resolutions, but without a single resolution output, you can see I have quite a few resolutions to choose from, all the way down to 160 by 120. Micron software, thank you. But yeah, they're the actual manufacturers of the Japan equivalent of the device I have. StarTech.com pretty much rebranded it and made their own drivers for the device, but again, you can install Micron Soft's drivers, and you have a few more options with capturing, and it gets rid of some bugs with Windows 10. Anyway, so without single resolution output, we have a lot of flexibility in terms of resolutions that are supported on the device. Which is a huge plus. But anyway, that isn't our primary concern at the moment. We are looking to see if we can reduce the number of artifacts or what have you we have happening on this device. So I am going to turn off that, and let's switch out some VGA cables and see what happens. There's a lot to jump over there. Alright, so I mean, it looks like we still have some of those dark issues going on. It's reporting a 640 by 480 still, or 640 by 400. We go ahead and say no. Just move around a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely getting those issues still. And if I turn on single resolution output, that's not changing it a whole lot. If I go to bypass color range, still getting those issues. So at this point, I've bypassed the VGA splitter I was using, and I'm using pretty much the most insulated VGA cable I have. The only other thing that could be introducing some sort of interference is this goes through a DVI to VGA adapter to actually go to the capture device. So that is a possibility. But my guess is go auto resolution scaling. I don't know if that's going to actually do anything here. Let's find out. It's probably going to mess up how it looks too. Not too bad, but it hasn't made any difference. It ain't getting worse. So let's find a good spot to... Yeah, there we go. That looks messed up. Let's get rid of those settings there. But yeah, and you notice there, so you'll see the what you would call it, the little art, the lack of refreshed video on the right hand side of the radar there, which tells me that's not actually rendered video on the capture frame itself. That's just, for all intents and purposes of this capture device, something that's dead. It's not going to get refreshed. So, what do we do about that? I mean, we have offsets here, which offsets just within what it seems as the capture window. That hasn't been very helpful so far. I mean, we have an HDMI DVI equalizer, but I don't think that actually affects this footage at all, does it? Now it's reading 640 by 449p. What? What are you talking about, man? If I do 15 to 20 meter, what's that going to get me? 640 by 499. Why is it getting 640 by 499? Let's go with match output frames per second. Yeah, it's not making a difference there. Trying to kick back to the auto settings. Go back to custom here. Color space, color range. It's full, buffering's enabled. Interesting. Or did the device just crap out on me? Is that what happened here? Alright, back in. See, I told you it'd be 1 second. How about that? So, still 640 by 499. Why is that? Custom, okay. What's going on here? I mean, I could try to maybe switch the capture and put it all together and see if that switches back to a readable resolution. Interesting. So I guess first of all, I'll put the switch or the splitter back on so I actually see what's going on with this device on one monitor, and then I can switch back to DOS input if I need to. Hey, and then it fixed itself, I guess. Cool. Pulling out the cable did the trick. Well, at least in regard to oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to do Alt. Huh. Okay. So what's it see as the actual footage itself? That's the full frame it's seeing now, which still cuts off the right-hand side. What's it seeing at still? It's now seen at 640 by 398 progressive. I mean, let's see if I can. I mean, at this point, it's actually getting squished a little bit because of my adjustments from earlier. It's actually more like that than anything else. What's also interesting is that my TV is cutting off the top and maybe a little bit of the left of the footage, which is consistent with how it's been outputting the DOS prompt on it. Let me see if I can get a visual of that. That might be interesting to look at instead of just me. So let's... Which also shows you how level this whole thing is. So good to say. seeing right there. So that's what we see in the actual TV footage itself, and that's on my Vizio TV I'm using at the moment. Let's see if I then. See, there's not a whole lot of lag going on between the two. I mean, it might be just more of from a little more introduced from the capture device itself, but again, it's the same VGA signal being split. Let me see if I can actually. It looks like maximized. Yeah, I think you can get a clear enough idea of what the differences in the video look like. No, we're not going to retry the mission here. Put that on live. Wait, what's going on? Hold up. There we go. You said, am I sure that it's being cut off on the right hand side of the capture? Actually, one thing I did notice here too, which I want to fix real quick. That was actually cut off a little bit. Initially, yes, that's what I was observing. The way I was looking at that was primarily looking at the radar. Now, the radar actually looks a little bit better than what it was. But let's see if I can. Let's do this. Let me put up this. And we'll do that. And we'll put behind here. And let's go with, say, capture. So there you can get kind of an idea of where all the actual lines are, which actually that's probably a good thing to do for adjusting windows in the future, I think. But from here, you can probably clearly see, hopefully, I think the other thing we really want to do is, let's go with menu, sure. I think that might help quite a bit with at least seeing where the boundaries are of the image, especially on the terminal velocity screen. I mean, look at the spacing between the Y and the DOS footage, and there is a bit of a difference there. Let's actually do this real quick. So save. As with all the imperfections in the world, I think this will represent at least decently well differences we might see between. Let me pull up the YouTube, or yeah, I should have. That there, that there. Yeah, so actually I should get rid of the. That's actually not a bad way of comparing some stuff, I guess, and get a better idea. But we do have some framing differences, not just from the TV versus the capture device itself, and then washed out because of increasing the brightness and other color adjustments. Yeah, it's actually already, like, here, for instance, I'm adjusting it right now, and there's nothing else to adjust to. And again, the left side itself is fine. I mean, if I go to the right side, there's nothing to adjust to. That is the signal the capture device is seeing right now. So, and you know, let's do this too. Let's take this a step further. Let's go back to here. Pump up the brightness a little bit. There we go. Now it all looks washed out. But you can see then how you have the darkened left-hand side and all that. So we have some stuff that's cut off. And yeah, I'm not sure what's causing that yet. That is a behavior that I do not see when I go into Windows. I think partly because it's a higher resolution, so maybe this device has better support for higher resolutions when it's rendering them. I don't know. But that's kind of what's going on between the two. We'll go ahead and bring this back to our... Well, first I'll bring this back to normal brightness. Oh. Come on. Oh, it's not going to let me type it in? Fine, whatever. I'll do that. I don't care. And we'll bring this back to our view here. And we'll go ahead and disable this white. Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been observing. So, anyway. So those are some of the challenges I have right now. I'm kind of looking at the footage we got. And I'll go ahead and also bring the camera back to me, I guess. Have I given it a wider resolution to capture? Well, I mean, I've given it... It's not... That's part of what I'm trying to figure out. Is can I force a resolution that it takes in as its source resolution? Because again, we see this is the resolution it reads when the signal actually comes into the capture device. I can output that resolution, which is some upscaling and what have you, however I wish. So we go back to our VGA source here. So again, I mean, I can set this for 1280 by 1028. I said I can set this for 1920 by 1088. I can say, okay, let's just do that. I mean, it is, but it's not going to change the source it receives. And again, even with me setting quote-unquote the resolution like that, I can turn off the auto scaling here, for example. And let's go ahead and, oh, it's a little bit off. Let's go ahead and turn it off real quick. And while what you're seeing is the normal footage, when I actually put the whole resolution it's going to output as down here, and you may have seen this when I was doing some of the overclock stuff before when I was switching between displays. Let's go ahead and turn on our white. That is actually what it shows for a 1080 output, which is truly, yeah, 1080p or 1920 by 1080, but of course it's going to it's only receiving so many lines to actually sync up with and render. Thus everything else becomes undetermined, I suppose. So I was actually leveraging this. Though the preset resolutions are not the native game's resolution, at least according to what I receive, which again would be this, you know, this 640 by 398, or before I was receiving 640 by 400 resolution. However, let's see if this even has graphics options. I can check. So let's say we just let's see how this changes the resolution when I set these things. Right. Problem is, I don't know what I'm getting out of this. Right. .640 to 480. Okay. Well. So let's go back to what we're receiving here. And now I'm receiving 720 by 480 according to the resolution here. So let's go ahead and go back to our options. We go 640 by 480. I'm going to say OK on that. We're going to go to source, configure video again, and this is when I would actually use an auto resolution scaling option, which will scale it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of, we'll put this back up real quick just in case. And we'll go ahead and turn off the display 2 for now. And as we can see with increasing the resolution with this particular game, many of our, we'll go back to our, let's see here, TV versus capture for a second. Many of the issues we had experienced previously have seemed to have gone away. Now, that's also with increasing the resolution with this particular game. So, what we observe here is, I agree with what your assessment, Sam, in terms of the auto is lying. Well, technically, I don't think the automatic reading of the resolution is lying per se, but it's doing the best it can based on what it's getting from the signal, and it's not adapting very well to changing resolutions or frame rates, things of that nature. Hence why I was getting like a 70 frames per second. Can my device do VGA? It should be able to do 720 by 200. Sure, let's find out. Should be able to anyway. So let's go ahead and change our resolution to VGA. What was it set for before? Was there an SV? Well, I guess it was set for VGA before, wasn't it? Dink. Play game. New game. So we get a 640 by 400p right now. And so if we force this to go to, let's go back to our capture here, set for 320 by 200. Come on. By 200. Force that. It doesn't appear to support VGA standard properly. That might be the assessment here. As you can see, I would say the refresh rate is off. It's misreading the frames per second. And resolution is not read correctly as well. So let's go back to our view here. We can see those numbers as compared to which now you see the resolution being read at 720 by 480p. Let's see here, let's go to that. And I turn auto scaling off. Does that do anything for me? Yeah, auto scaling looks like it's still sort of needed for that. There we go. That looks pretty decent, pretty representative. All right, so I would say that this device does not support VGA standard resolution. SVGA has a much easier time with, though it will attempt to read the signal with varying results, it appears. Games such as Warcraft I had a much easier time with. I'm not sure if you were on the stream for Warcraft, Sam. But I mean, again, we can see with the comparing the two, we have a very similar framing, and we don't have the refresh. What I would say is like the misread refresh rate issues from the capture device that we had last time. Right. So now you can now, at least for specifically for Tomb Raider, let's go back to this here. Turn off the white. Actually, let's turn the white back on. Okay. Well, at least for Tomb Raider, you might be able to get away with a different graphics mode, which is not what we want. That's not what we're asking for here. Let's get those back in place. Almost framed out. Yeah, that's not exactly what we're looking for here. Right, and I believe with 3D effects drivers, you can also pull that off. Yeah, I believe there is a glide support that allows you to get the high resolution mode as well, besides using the software renderer. I believe that is the case. At the very least, it has high texture support for glide. But I believe there is a high resolution support as well. I was looking at that a little bit myself because I also have Tomb Raider Gold on DOS. In fact, I can show you that right now. Well, it's better support for DOS prompt than I was having previously, so that's good. So yeah. Right. No, I hear you. Part of me wonders if there's a config file we can use to force the resolution. It still doesn't solve the problem, though. It doesn't solve the VGA standard capture problem, right? I mean, all that being said, going game by game and hoping for SVGA support isn't exactly the winning way to go. Yeah, I should go too. Oh, CD. Alright, get the CD out. Dang on it. Where did I put that? Oh yeah, did your copy of Tomb Raider come with the second disc that has the expansion levels as well? I think it's called like Unfinished Business or something like that. I know there's other ones besides that, but I believe those are all included in the discs I have. Meaning if you need them, we can make that happen. So we're getting a 720 by 480p. Okay. See, did I do anything to switch this graphics port? Also note how crappy the sound is right now. Let me turn it up a little just so you can get a full experience of it. So here's my question for you, since you're smart. Listen to how all the sound is. Listen to all that crackling and feedback and all that noise. Do you hear that? Do you hear that noise in the audio? That's been my bugbear right now. I do not have onboard audio turned on in BIOS right now. I have that deactivated. I have printer and serial ports both deactivated to try to minimize any kind of resource conflicts, any kind of electrical interference from just those devices being enabled, anything like that. And this is an ISA bus card. a brand new ISOBUS card. And Windows doesn't have this issue, but when I go into DOS, I guess because of the DOS driver or something, I get that kind of interference. Warcraft also has this weird echoey audio that occurs. Let's go ahead and go into the game itself and see what we get for resolution. As it loads. Alright, so we're getting a 640 by 398, very similar to what we had before. When you had mentioned not be able to change the resolution here. Possibly, I mean, this is the automated configuration. I can check that to see if I can go like with a different interrupt request number. Let's see, yes, we got detail levels, which we see it's a different resolution than. Let's see here for a second. Yeah, even my TV reads this as 720 by 400, which I guess is interesting. But anyway. Oh, you can even hear it switching around to get that noise in the audio. It's gross. So, yeah, SVGA for the cinematics and main menu. When you get into the game, VGA. How about that? Cash me outside. How you like that? How about that? Anyway. That's what Tomb Raider is looking like. But it runs, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Looks like crap because the capture device doesn't deal with it very well. Let's go back to SVGA for a minute. Set up. Let's look at this real quick. Ooh, look at DOS. Didn't like that a whole lot. Yeah, that's reading 640 by 90, as you can see. Oh, you have a binary file? Aren't you a jerk? Let's tune UV. Unfinished business, oh, right. I did install that, didn't I? Could have been good. Could have. Oh. Yeah, no binary. Boo. Which also, I think that there's menu settings on the editor that I can't see. Great. Okay, well, let's look at something else here. Let's try something else. What we got? There's some DOS games I don't have access to right now because they are in a different box. I can't remember if Phantasmagoria is DOS or not. Which actually, you know what, let's switch this up a little bit. me here. Oh yeah? Is that going to give us something magical? Is that going to give us our SVGA output? Well, I can shrink the size of the window. Doesn't change F1. Ah! Yeah, there you go. 72480. Looks nice, doesn't it? But now if we do... Oh, there it is. Well, again, at least with your, whenever your 3D effects cards come in, you should have some really cool texture support for that. Do you see the difference between the detail levels here? So, this is on high, low, everything's low, medium, it looks like close proximity textures are high resolution, high, everything's good. Interesting, okay. Looks a lot better, man. A lot better. Also play on a keyboard. Oh yeah. A lot better, man. So we got this, right? Pay attention to the textures on the ground compared to the walls here when I switch these detail modes. So we're on high right now. Should be low, medium, high. You can literally see some sort of arbitrary distance or proximity of textures change quality when you swap around the detail settings. So how about that? I hate this keyboard controls right now. Anyway, Tomb Raider. As my mic slowly sinks. Huh. Oh, I see, because the clamp's coming off. Oh, dang. That's why. I thought it was just like, oh, dang. Okay, that was actually more serious than I thought it was. Yeah. Not having that issue anymore, are we? No, sir. So so I thought it was just like one of the nuts that for the adjustment arm were loose. No, like the whole actual clamp was coming off of the desk. I'm like, oh, that's whoa. Fix that though, didn't we? Well, there we go, Tomb Raider. But again, that's great. It's S-Video, or not S-Video, SVGA. Okay. Now, DOS doesn't like that. I should have my camera just set up on the monitor, so I go back to switch. There, now we're back on that. Again, analog would be a solution to this. You just capture analog S-video or something, and you're good to go. But yep. So, what else we got? We have... I don't know if Yamaha's what I... Well, maybe Yamaha's what I want. Let's check it. See, that's not what I'm using here. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? There's a utility I could bring up. I can't quite remember how to bring up the utility for my sound card. Which is Yamaha OPL3 FM synthesizer. I still have to load up my other wave cable as well, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. Let's check this out real quick. It's the best. I want to go to... Not so much for that. I wonder if I'm not able to do rich text format in DOS. I may not be able to. Honestly, I haven't really tried before, so let's go to DOS. Stupid mouse cord. No way. Hmm. Trying to find, I mean, do I have SA here? I'm trying to figure out what directory this would actually be in my, without having to put the disk back in and go back to Windows and find my utility. Shucks. What all do I have in here again? So blaster to that, right? But that's not what I want to find. What loads the actual driver? So we config.sys. Let's set up the actual driver. Let's set up the sound driver. Let's set up the sound driver, Chris. I think that is for the actual integrated sound, which is not what I want. Oh, what was that usually runs? Dang it. Let's go set up, see what happens here. I'll reinstall, that's fine, whatever. In the meantime, while this is reloading, we'll do this real quick. And let's go ahead and how do I want to do this? I may not have much of a choice. I'm going to have to make it dirty and do that. See, why is it? The Win command automatically takes you back to Windows. So what's happening is it read that I was in a Windows environment. Even though this is DOS, it still leverages Windows environment variables and drivers. So it should automatically boot me into Windows, and it's going to attempt to execute setup once it enters Windows. Let's see here. Let's go with VG source. That's, of course, if it actually boots into Windows. A lot of times with Windows 98, it just won't boot into it and will, well, it'll just freeze. So we'll see what happens. If it doesn't do anything after a while, I'll just reboot the system myself. Be done with it. I don't want that auto-scaling crap. Alright. Yeah, the Win command hardly works the way it should. Normal mode, please. What do we got going on here? Let's see. What is it we don't like? What is it that we don't like? I have to go through all my settings now to see what I changed that this may not like. I mean, I can, because, so the footage is, or the computer is up. As you can hear, let me turn the BGA back down a little bit. Actually, no, you're not. You're getting some weird feedback or something to BGA. Okay, let's change that a little bit. Be right back. See, told you I'd be right back. And look, BGA's fixed. Reinitialize the device, you're good to go, right? Okay, so let me fix my picture here so it's not completely blown out. I think that should be fine. How does this look on the stream? Is that looking dark on the stream or is that looking fine? Yeah, it looks pretty good on the stream. Not too bad. I was checking out some options for BIOS updates on this board, but risks were too high to do that, so I didn't go through with it. And there wasn't really much to really gain from it. Seeing how I have a processor I'd want, that's what all this is here. So let's go ahead and erase that. Erase that. Go to our setup. Yeah, I mean, the rare occasion if you can reflash them, it's great, but well, that's cool. Sure. Oh, the DullStart.bat that it uses, okay. Oh, that's where it's at, dang, okay. Yeah. So that was an application that actually started up before it was like it's like a DOS utility, right? And I had set up before, and I was like, nah, I don't need it anymore, so I just turned it off, but I didn't know how to reinitialize that application since. Now, Now we got it. So what's this card come with? We got a little Y station, which is like multimedia, wave player setups, things like that. We got 3D sound, which turned on, so we have 3D sound if we want it. But that's not really why we got the sound card. We didn't get it for these Windows utilities necessarily. We got it for the DOS stuff, yo. Where's my VGA source at? No signal. Why you got? What you mean you got no signal? You got signal. You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. Whatever. Well, at least you'll have that up for now. Let's see what we got. So we can change the base IO address. Actually, let me put up the camera and show you what's going on. So, any of you have seen the Phil's Computer Lab review of this card? Well, we have some options here. So, let's see what we got. First of all, we have, assuming this is for, well, I guess it doesn't help because there's probably more information up top here for what's actually going on that I'm selecting here. I believe one is going to be for music, one's going to be for MIDI. So in this case here, I just want to reset this to IRQ of 3, DMA channel 1. Let's change that to 3 because we have 0 for that. Check the 3. Volume should be fine. Mic should be fine, though. Actually, I'm not going to use a mic on this. So I don't need mic. CD volume, I don't have anything going on right now with that. See if that makes a difference. Yes, I do. Please. Let's restart the computer. Okay. And let's see. Let's fix this slightly. There. See, look how much easier this is. You set the camera up on it. I'm gonna grab something to eat. I'll be right back. Okay. How do I set up my PCI sound card to work with DOS applications through Windows 98? Well, typically by default... Oh, well, I guess I'm back, by the way. Hey. So, to do that, though, that is typically the million-dollar question, because it kind of depends on your card. For instance, some of the PCI Sound Blaster cards, they would have a built-in emulator to emulate the characteristics of an ISA card to enable for DOS support. You might remember some of the adventures I had with the compact laptops, one of the ones I tried giving to you. The integrated sound was through a PCI bus on the board, and actually used a Sound Blaster emulator to emulate that sound. Or to emulate that bus, I should say. I don't believe all PCI sound cards work in DOS also. Some of them might have their own DOS driver. Some of them might not. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. So first of all, let's go to our window here. Let's go to say... That's up for 3. That's up for 3 or 5. Crap. We're gonna change the channel. Okay. And channel is set for 3 as well. Yeah. See how Warcraft runs. It sounds a lot better. No, I reinstalled the Windows drivers, but if you're talking about for this current card that I'm using right now, oh, no, I pretty much ran the install again for the same exact drivers I had before. I just changed the DMA channel, I think. And I think I changed the input, the IRQ to 3 instead of 5. Now I check Tomb Raider here for setup. Oh, I gotta put that CD back in. Okay. Okay, man. Pardon me, camera. And the main reason why I just ran the install again was to just very quickly re-enable the DOS setup utility I was using previously, because I wasn't sure where it was on the hard drive or anything. Oh yeah, it's not RQ74? What? Yeah, that's not what we're using. This could be same port, DMA channel 3, I think. IRQ of... Oh, what did I pick here? Did I not choose the IRQ I want for this? Uh-oh. Nope. That doesn't work. Okay. So, Tomb Raider. It's got some problems there. I don't know if you were able to hear the high-pitched squeal or beep, whatever it was, when trying to test Tomb Raider. It's not manually detecting my sound device correctly, which I forgot that'd be the case. Furthermore, and more depressing, is that it's looking for IRQ numbers that are not what I'm using right now. Which, that's a big, fat bummer. Which means we gotta configure this again. Which we can do. That's no problem. We can handle that. It's looking for IRQ of 2, 5, 7, or 10. It's okay. Let's see what we can set this up as. Do it. See, I'm going through the pain, so you don't have to, right? But yeah, to answer your question, Sam, it's going to highly depend on the sound card you actually have, what sort of DOS support it has, and what the solution is. If it's using some sort of Sound Blaster emulation, if it has its own driver it's using, whatever. Let's go ahead and try IRQ 10. Why not? Oh. Okay. So, first of all, let's go to see if it still works fine.
In the age of chaos, two factions battled for dominance. The kingdom of Azeroth was a awesome strong.
Okay.
The humans ruled well then,
Mm-hmm.
Internet and Google script with the picture playing dominance over the whole of the house. Welcome to the world of Warcraft.
All right. That sounds fine and dandy. Cool. Now it's Tomb Raider. First of all, let's see if it'll auto-detect. Nope. Mainly select. We're gonna go with. I think we're going with Sound Blaster Pro. That's the port. DMA 3, IRQ 7.
Right, let's go adventuring.
Sounds good. Save those settings, install. Ooh, that sounds a lot better. Doesn't that just sound oodles better to you, sir? Sounds oodles better to me.
What's a man got to do to get that kind of attention from you?
It's hard to say exactly, but you seem to be doing fine.
Well, great. Though truth is, it ain't me that wants you.
Now, part of it too is that I had also turned down the microphone line all the way. I didn't know if there was any kind of interference going on with that, just to sort of minimize any kind of risks.
Seal it, Larson.
It looks like we got it to where we needed it, man.
Feast your eyes on this, Lara. How does that make your wallet rumble? I'm sorry. I only play for sport. Then you'll like a big park. Peru. Vast mountain ranges to cover. Sheer walls of ice. Rocky crags. Savage winds. And there's this little trinket. An age-old artifact of mystical power is buried in the unfound tomb of Qualapec. That's my interest. You could leave tomorrow. Are you busy tomorrow?
Boom, just like that. Okay. Is there some sort of procedure you're trying to follow to do that, or what? Now, keep in mind as well, you might have some other options coming your way you can use besides your Audigy 2. Oh, the sound is so much better. Dang, man. I'm glad. Well, let me see here. If you'd like, I could let you know what you have coming in to give you a better idea of what you have to choose from. Would that be helpful? It's back on me now. That was a bit of a rough open. Well, whenever that, I mean, I have to reopen the box to at least put your heatsink in it before I ship it. I'm going to try to ship that tomorrow. But yeah, that is something that should be coming down the pipe. So I have at least 2 other ISA slot sound cards and another Audigy build card coming your way. That's why I say that. Yeah, it doesn't affect the very immediate of what you're doing right now, correct? But, you know, before you start trying to super painful process of figuring out why this particular sound card does not work in DOS the way it should. Maybe get an idea of what other options you have coming down the pipe, you know? That's all I'm saying. Oh, this is a Windows program. I guess that makes sense. Fantastic Four is Windows. Is Harvester Windows? Or is that DOS? That's supposed to be Windows. Multimedia. I don't know. Actually, what I could do, I can install Quake now. I got some confidence. I have confidence in the sound of this now. So, let us install Quake. Wherever I put it somewhere. What's up that tray? It's just sounding noisy. Alright. So I believe this is indeed a DOS install for Quake. Yeah, install. Yep. Oh. Thank you, PC Speaker. Now I will say, once I get some stuff set up on here, it's not too terrible. Having to, what am I trying to say here? It's not too terrible having to mess with DOS stuff on the machine or Windows 98. I mean, it took a little bit of work to get the parts I wanted, and I got kind of lucky with the Pentium 3, but in all honesty, this Dell board is pretty sturdy. I'm preparing to enter Quake. Quake. I'll have to brighten this a little bit. I don't know if it will have CD audio. Oh, that's really low sensitivity. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to. I'll put always run on. How do we adjust our MLOOK sensitivity now? Let's look that up. What did I miss that option? Is that in here and I just didn't see it? Oh yeah, mouse speed, there we go. Let's try that. Better. Now, of course, we don't have. Oh yeah, we gotta put U's on something. That is a control. Isn't there a U's? Maybe there's not. Maybe it's just buttons. I guess, yeah. Oh yeah? Awesome. Oh, that's I can't remember what the crosshair. Are they? Sorry, man. I mean, that's one thing that the Free Geek shop is not short on is Ethernet controllers. So if we're needing an Ethernet controller and you don't want to pay out the butt, we can definitely make that happen too. Okay. That's good. I'll have to make sure to archive the one I got somewhere, so that way if others need it, if the time comes, they can have it. Sweet. Yay, Quake. SVJ ain't so bad with Quake, yo. And look, now DOS prompt wants to work, sort of. Ish. Or did my... Or DOS decided to freeze up and exit the game. Alright, man. I suppose that's something that can happen too. Yeah, I believe my Ethernet controller also came out of the lemon. So... Yep. Lemon, lemon, lemon. Gotta get all them lemons. Hexen 2 should play a lot better now, too. So now we got something to work with. We got sound rolling. The way it should. The way it was meant to be. Well, also in terms of sound cards, I can definitely say with what I got so far, it's working pretty nicely. It's been a lot easier to mess with this particular sound device than what I had to do before for the laptops, which were to dig into forums and all kinds of places just to find the DOS drivers and get those lined up. Now, I was also fortunate that there were DOS drivers in the first place, so that was a plus. Quake, you do alright. You're alright, Quake. I can now shamble however I want, whenever I want. Good deal. I should have Hexen around here too, I thought. Who's that? Alright. Here's a Hexen 2 expansion. Got that. Very good. Actually, let's go ahead with that. Let's go ahead with Hexen 2 with expansion, yo. This system should be able to handle Hexen 2. That is A-okay with me. I am more than happy to have a nice reminder of what my sound settings are. Absolutely. And let's go ahead with setup. Is this a Windows game? I guess, yeah, DirectX and all that, maybe. Well, my bad. I guess it's a Windows game. Dang. Yeah, OG Quake. Oh snap. So, the biggest headache right now is that you're trying to get some sort of sound card that wasn't the previous Sound Blaster Gold, the AWE Gold, in your slot 1 system right now, because you're saving the AWE Gold for the socket 7. Is that right? Honestly, can't even remember if I installed Hexen 2 on this already.
A shadow has fallen across the world of Therion, for evil is upon us. For ages untold, the Serpent Riders were the stuff of legends, dark stories used to quiet unruly children. Who could have suspected that within these stories lay a dark and sinister truth? Years ago, on a world whose name is now forgotten, the Serpent Rider named Disparil descended upon the land. The legends tell of a single elf that gathered a powerful arsenal and assaulted the very stronghold of Disparil. This forgotten hero destroyed the serpent and purified his poisonous influence from the realm. Horax, the second Serpent Rider, set upon the world of Kronos with trickery and guile, perverting the leaders of the world to do his bidding. Fortunately, 3 brave souls fought their way through the twisted and decimated lands, ultimately destroying Horax. Now the darkness has come to Therion. Eidolon, the last and most powerful of the Serpent Riders, is ravaging our once peaceful world. In the evening before his arrival, a rain of fire fell from the heavens.
Oh, snap.
Fearful, demoralized, and unable to regroup, the populace of Therion fell quickly before the dreaded march of Eidolon's vile gallows. Machinations created for only one purpose: destruction. The attack was skillfully executed, and all 4 continents had fallen by midday. Nothing was spared, no one was safe from the merciless onslaught. It was a sad time for our once noble world, and many were forced into hiding to avoid death. Now, Therion huddles in fear. Eidolon sits gloating and untouched in his dark tower, with Therion in the grip of the Dark Generals. Famine, pestilence, war, death. They must all be defeated. Who will step forward and bring the reign of Eidolon to an end?
I'll step
Only
up.
time will tell.
Hexen 2. Install. Huh. Interesting. So, So you have a capture. Is this a capture device you're using with Windows now? Because I know you're using a capture device with Mac previously, or is this something to where you were messing with your capture settings and all of a sudden your machine blue screened and you're messing with your capture settings on your Mac? Install both GL and OG Hexen. Just in case GL Hexen looks like crap or doesn't work very well. I remember GL Hexen having a lot of glitchy issues. It's good to hear CD audio. That'll be the next thing to consider for me. Games like Quake, I'm not sure what they're using to actually do CD audio. If they're looking for the CD audio cable header thing to be connected between the IDE drive and the sound card. If that's the case, my current CD-ROM solution won't work for that because I'm using a SATA drive, which doesn't have that header built in. And of course, my SATA to IDE adapter isn't going to have that either. So I have a couple options. One, if that header is available somehow on the RAID controller, I can try using that, the one I have coming in for the 98 machine. Number two, Number two would be to get an IDE CD-ROM drive so I can do that. And then that should take care of most other... You have two capture devices. One is hooked up to my Windows 7 machine. Okay. Well, that sucks, man. I am sorry to hear that your Windows 7 machine decided to crap on you. Okay. So yeah, my second option is to pick up an IDE CD-ROM drive to have that CD audio header and be able to use that for older games for CD audio and other things like that. Because I believe, I'm making a large assumption here, but I believe that's the case for Quake and some other games like that. Which, unfortunately, I wish I could use a SATA drive to do that, because that'd be great. I can have a newer drive. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's look at... Let's try GL Hexen and see how it runs. If it runs okay. It is. I was just hoping to have a newer drive to use instead of having to go to an old IDE drive. Are you using Glide for OpenGL? Ah. Okay. Well, in that case, we just use regular Hexen. I don't care. I wasn't looking to do GL Hexen anyway. Ah. Oh, that's not good. We might need to patch up Hexen too. That's no good. X2 decided to take a poop on me. It's like, nah, man. You don't need to run me. You just have messed up video stuff, which I believe was an issue I had previously. Okay. I'm not sure if patch cleared it up. Let's find out. That's interesting. There's some. I found some Voodoo 2 drivers. Some of them are for, I found some Voodoo 2 drivers, and some of those drivers work for Windows 2000 XP. Though I think I've said that before, so this may not be new news. Got some Glide 3X for Windows XP drivers. Huh. Mini GL EXE. Cool. Interesting. Anywho. Let me go ahead and exit this. We don't need to scan disk. We're fine. That should not be an issue. Okay. Got that. I think we have our patch there. We do. Let's do that. Right. Okay. Yeah, sorry about the troubles there, man. It doesn't sound like it was a very good time. I mean, it might very well be that sound card really wasn't built for DOS, unfortunately. Which again, that might be a good opportunity then to use a second, like you were thinking before, use a second sound card if you want to use the Audigy 2 for Windows. I mean, that might be a possibility. Alright, go ahead and see if we can patch up Hexen 2 and not have it be butt. Okay. Patch was successful. So let's try the software renderer one more time here. See if we get any better progress with Hexen 2. Might very well crap my system like I did the last time. Yeah, like that. Just like that, actually. So that's kind of interesting. Hexen 2 software renderer crashes. Oh, yeah. Duh. Let's get that exited real quick. No. We got another option here. Fair. Yeah, sorry you're having a lot of troubles there, man. I'm sure it is frustrating to say the least. I know Tomb Raider was acting a little buggy for me as well. In particular, you saw it when I was setting up the sound earlier. If I let it auto-detect sound, it doesn't find my Sound Blaster card. If I use what it auto-detects for, setup gives a nice high-pitched beep that doesn't stop, and it freezes. So I have the feeling Tomb Raider Gold on DOS, not exactly the most stable product in the world. So what I want to do is see. What are they doing for this to make this work? Ooh. Well, how about that? Not sure why that's the case yet, but you remove the OpenGL DLL, this will at least boot for whatever reason. I'll have to adjust that, that's right. Well, we can do this for now. Well, let's do this for now. See, I have that. Crouch, as control. All I want to do is play Tomb Raider, dang it. And Tomb Raider's like, nah, man, can't let you do it. For whatever reason. Lift object. Let's see if we actually have audio. And let's also see if this actually runs right. Could always run on. So this is run really skippity, but if I say yeah, it's still really skippity. I possess the torch. Huh. So when I adjust the music volume, it hurts my frame rate. I probably could. See, I get all these weird CD audio issues. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Again, I think the bigger solution, or the better solution would be to get a better CD drive, get one that's going to work on the system. Spiders! Oh, God. Pocket sand. Swords. Swords. Goodbye, lamb. The mill. Then I also have the Hexen 2 expansion that we can load up on this bad boy. What a crazy dependency I've seen with things in a CD drive, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. The mission pack. Back when we had mission packs. Yeah, we definitely need GL Hexen installed. After they defeated the main evil in Hexen 2, they finally have not defeated all of evil. Snap. Nah, we're not gonna install Game Spy. Yes, I did beat Hexen 1. Or, sorry, Hexen 2. Yeah, I beat Hexen 2, yes. And it was a sweet, sweet victory. By the way, all these like GL Quake and GL Hex and all that, great support with Glide. So when you get your Voodoo card in, you have a ball with that, Sam. You have a ball, you enjoy it, you eat it all up. You are a lucky goose. We're not back into DOS land for a while, because that's what we were working with in the first place here. That was the point of this. Oh, dang. Well, do you want what we have coming in to see if any of those are going to work with what you're trying to do? And this isn't just like tell you what you got coming in, but so you can actually figure out if these cards are going to work for you or not. Okay. And we'll leave it at that. Onward and upward. Ugh. At the very least, 2 of them are ISA cards, so there will be DOS compatibility with those. No doubt. Right. Dark Forces. Yeah, we'll install, man. Custom install. Yep. Check all the boxes. I want all of it installed. Well, that's understandable. I mean, at least that's what's kept me even from touching the 98 machine for a while, was the whole sound issue and what other configurations I had to make. I probably spent with the laptops a solid month of figuring out exactly how to get them configured to play DOS games in a variety of ways and a variety of DOS games. Part of that was getting, a lot of it was getting the sound device working, because that was just a pain in the butt. But after that, then there were specific issues with Earth Siege and what else? There was another game that gave me some issues too, but Earth Siege was a big one. Let's do a custom install. Sound Blaster Pro should work. Port IRQ of 10, DMA channel 3. Okay, music works. Hello, digital audio. All right. Here, so you can hear it here. So yeah, you should be able to, as long as you have like as long as the resources aren't conflicting and you have blaster set for your DOS card and any other kind of settings you might need to have in DOS or drivers loaded up will be loaded up for that card. You should be fine for that. Heck, if you even want to, you can run like different what you call it, different video cards that same way. Controller setup, keyboard, forwards up, backwards that, strafe. Save that, configure mouse enabled. Forward, right button. No, I want. Speed slow. Okay. That should be good. What do I have for jump set? Nudge should be E. I think we should be all set on that. Yeah, I was going to enable that. Exit. Yep, we're good. Good. Okay. That should be good. Let's see how this runs. We're part of the way there. I don't know what we can do about this right now. I'm gonna go ahead and use, say, what do I want to use for this? Just have something up real quick. Doc. Cool. Load that mission up. First question is also configuration. Do I have any... I don't know if I can adjust any kind of resolution. But Dark Forces works. He's on build engine? There we go. Right? What's up, Derek? Yeah, we're going through a lot of tests of capturing and playing DOS games at the moment. A lot of varying results. I mean, not everything has been what it needs to be. We're getting a lot working on here. We got some sound card stuff figured out. That was a big issue. Now we got that figured out. We are doing a lot better. Aha. Cool. Dark Forces works. Yeah, I'm not surprised that's all jacked up. Yep, makes sense. So, Dark Forces works fine. Let's see where we are at with Hexen. I tried running Hexen before and that gave me some issues. I think Hexen actually crashed my system previously. Let me see if there's anything I can do to adjust Dark Forces that run at a high resolution. I probably need to, huh, Derek? See here. Yeah, looks like you have to get a separate launcher to do high resolution for Dark Forces. Dang. Oh well. Okay. As long as it'll still run in the Windows environment and not have to go to DOS mode to do it. Then I can give that a try. Let's check out Hexen. Because I decided to not organize any of my games. Whoa, that's big text. Games. Oh. No, it's not in games. What did oh. There is an actual Hexen directory. Cool. Let's go to setup real quick. Yep, there it is. Music card, Sound Blaster is what we're going to want. Sound Blaster, that's the port. Oh, it's not going to support that IRQ though. Ooh. Well, dang. Apparently this does not support IRQ 7 for Hexen. Crap. Dang. I mean, I could try 7, I guess. Using up arrows again. Well, I mean, Hexen runs, but that's the way we want it to. So I guess I have to reconfigure my sound card again. You try maybe IRQ 7 will work fine. I think most devices read that at least. Since 3 is just jacked for whatever reason. Or I could try 3 again and see if it was just a microphone line that was doing it. I mean... I don't know. See you guys later, Derek. Yeah, sorry, man. We're doing some silly, boring stuff right now. A lot of I want DOS to work with all my games and it all works fine and everything else sort of stuff. So let's try this with 7. 7. Very good, man. Cool. It's all good in the hood. Try CD audio if it'll let me. Yep. TV channel 3. Sure. We got sound effects. No CD audio though. That's not super surprising. Let's go computer controller, keyboard. Down. Jump. Spacebar. Going to accept that. What we got for mouse fire and strafe on. I think I'd rather have that be strafe on. I'm going to accept that. And we have, ugh, what? Well, that don't look right either. But I have to adjust this mouse sensitivity in DOS as well. But yep, it works. So Hexen at least works. I have to change my sound stuff to have to read, but we'll play the IRQ7. That's fine. I can live with that. I think most games should support that anyway. Okay, let's see. Heretic was the next one I wanted to check out here. This gave me some issues too previously. This one I think actually did crash quite a bit. Okay, Heretic 1, not Heretic 2. Question is, where does Heretic install? What else do I actually have in game? So I have Dune 2000, Scorcher, Thief, and... Oh, that's the Longest Journey. So, definitely not there. Sierra... Oh, Heretic is, sorry. Music... Sure, Sound Blaster. Sound Blaster. Now these ain't jumping in this, so we're fine. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay. Cool. We got music. Hey, this works pretty dang good. All right. And keep in mind, I am also still looking at the chat. If it's not up right now, I just want to try to quickly maximize other windows here, such as... I can't blast the outlets. There we go. Cool. Good deal. Heretic runs fine and dandy, like cotton candy. Cotton candy. Good deal. It helps to have sound that actually works. Shoot. And look at that, look. I wonder if the... See, because here's the thing. Why do I have... When there's like a large graphic right there, it gives some sort of decent resolution to use. Why the heck is that? Well, anyway, if you want to order a Heretic, there's the information for you right there. Let's go ahead and do a mail order, probably check or money transfer work best. And bing, bang, boom, you'll be in business. You know, let's get crazy. We're going to do a game that should not run at all on this thing. Really old game called Lost in Time. This is a point-click adventure game that I have not been able to get running on a machine at all properly. Now I'd probably do some CPU stuff to get this going, but we're gonna see how this does. Now that besides some like weird CD drive issues, so far DOS compatibility is running pretty okay. Pretty okay. Man, see, I'm wondering if like, if there's like an image on the screen. Let me get this adjusted a little bit better real quick. if there is like a, when there's some sort of image that's not black or something on the screen, if that is somehow influencing the auto detect on the resolution or something. I don't know. It sounds really stupid because, yeah, but I mean, at least visual evidence I'm seeing. There's a big giant red screen here right now that is helping at least give some sort of auto resolution to what we're seeing, right? Let's do install. So I wonder, in theory, if I can do, let's check something real quick. Okay, so let's advanced configuration say. Okay, so it boots up. I'm probably not going to hear anything though because it's configured for the wrong audio. It kind of runs. Kind of. I mean, it's still seeing it as Blaster 10 though. Oh. Let's see if we have a config in here I can mess with. Let's see. No, that won't do. Let's see here what we got, what we got. I was hoping to see if there's like a text file I can just edit real quick to edit sound, but doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like I have that. Maybe. I'm gonna have to clean out my memory too, apparently. Yeep. See what happens. Ugh. I think what I'd probably have to do, it might have, let's check it out. I was assuming AdLib compatible would count as something for like a PC speaker, but yeah, PC internal speaker is turned off. See, like, what's up with this? Why is that grayed out? Well, we can try this real quick. I got an idea. So go ahead and restart. Because remember, I set up the card, but I had not rebooted MS-DOS, so it very well... Yeah, I know AdLib was some sort of other like really primitive or not great sound option. What was that exactly? It was just a kind of cheap MIDI sound. But my guess is it's probably determining the blaster settings purely off of the blaster variable. That probably hasn't been re-entered yet. Gotcha. But I'm assuming that the blaster variable probably wasn't re-exported into DOS shell, thus... I see now it's going to be interrupt 7, so it wasn't loaded up when I first went to DOS. So this time around, I should be able to go back into DOS, go back into setup. Apparently I got to clear out something in memory still, though, because I don't have quite enough memory for probably some sound effects, and it might adversely be affecting the performance of that game, too. Among other possible issues that could be going on. But, you know, we're going to hit it one step at a time here. Gotcha. Okay. Offered hardware and limited set of wave shapes. Got it. Okay. Cool. Probably do. I thought it was configured properly, but now that I think about it, it might have had some issues previously. Extended memory. Sound card, sound blaster. Still IRQ 10. Maybe it doesn't support 7 and it goes to the next one up. I mean, this could be a situation where I have to just change the sound card setting depending on the game, I guess. Okay, that's fine. We can do that later. That's another later thing. If I ever want to jump into this game, I can deal with it then. Trying to... But here's what we'll do here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to boot up the XP machine. Oh, XP machine might still be unplugged. So, correction. Okay, soon we're going to turn on the XP machine. We'll hear that fan coming on now. Yeah, that's true too. That could be done. It'd be a good exercise for me to get used to how to set such things up, because I haven't done it a whole lot, really. As you can see, I've done like a lot of bare minimum setup of DOS apps and things like that. Might not be like, why are we booting up the XP machine, Chris? What's up with this? What's going on? Well, I figure we're gonna do a couple things here. One, I'll reboot the 98 machine, get that back to Windows. Or double check some of our DOS settings for that memory issue. Get that cleared up, because also if I want to play games like Falcon, we're going to have upper memory used properly here. So I just have to find where Falcon is at. It's in some box back there with the rest of the games. Good news though is for the most part, I mean, we have... I didn't install the Hexen expansion, but we have about everything we want to have rolling with DOS going so far. For the most part, we're not hitting like a spot where we're, you know, out of luck. Really, it's just silly little things. I'll be right back here. Right. One other thing I forgot that we should try with the 98 machine before going crazy on other things here. We need to try to run the greatest of DOS games, Cento/Creep Clash. How could I forget? That's just silly on my part. I mean, dang. What was I thinking? Or we need to fix our RAM issue. Huh. It's all tech files, huh? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Never mind. Memory issue has to be cleared up before some of these things will run fine. That's cool. Not quite yet, Cento Creek Clash. Not quite yet. Put an XP here. So now we have Neverwinter Nights. It's like, oh yeah, I should install Neverwinter Nights. It'll play really nice. I do 98, getting there. Install. Never Nights. Did you lock up on the machine? Huh. 98 machines seem to have had some issues there. Let's make sure it goes in the windows properly before going any further. Oh yeah, when I picked up Hordes of Underdark to complete the gold set here, have all the expansions, the guy I bought it from, he was like, alright guys, what's the CD key? He goes, oh, you just look it up somewhere, get yourself a CD key, you'll be fine. I'm like, then why just buy a disc from you, dude? Screwed up stuff. Screwed up. So disc is fine. Windows 98. Pretty much. And it's a legit disc. So, that's great. We're at 98, okay now. I feel better. Alright, what we're going to do is go to camera only for a minute here just to talk all nice and neat to you. Also, so I don't just start pimping away at my CD keys. I mean, dang. Can't be doing that now. Alright. Should be back in business then for this install. Oh, messaging, what I got? I got it. But, oh, nice. Way to be. Sweet, we're all gonna be in the same hotel then. Very good. That's the wrong CD drive. Continue the install. Well, I assume Santa Clara has something. I believe... No, I'm thinking something else. Santa Clara should have something there. Something must be around. Adults are there, dang it. Alright, so let's go. Let's talk about memory. Let's talk about memory management. What does Chris have set up? Because I forget what I configured on here so far. So this Windows, like, your CD drive's fine, we got you. Okay. Okay. Which CD drive does appear to be fine, so. Where's my config.sys? It's for, okay. If I had to guess, I would say that these probably need to be moved into high memory. That'd be my driver itself there. And then yeah, let's see where that gets me. Okay. Still booting Windows again. Disk 3, let's go. Let's go, disk 3. Okay. Or my 98 machine just doesn't like or if my machine just doesn't like booting if there's no video signal. That very well could be the case. Disk is fine, just when Windows doesn't see a monitor, or at least when Windows try to boot doesn't see a monitor, it's like, nah man, I'm good. I already know I have something receiving my VGA signal. Can't be lonely. Hello, Watson. Hello, dog. Why, hello. Okay. Hello. What? Dog. You are a pup dog. That should be fine. Yes, please, it'll be fine. Okay, so it's like there we go. So what's using... How do I see what's using that memory? Bless you. Okay. Let's see what else we can do to try to maximize our memory here. So obviously some of it's being used. I don't see anything up in the upper memory, which is not great. Okay, let's see what else we can. If there's anything else we can offload from memory here. I guess that's not being used, right? Mouse sharp is being a little bit high. Apparently that didn't save. Apparently it didn't. Let's try that. Apparently I did not restart or save the document like I thought it did. Save the file, I should say. go to DOS. Flash. Okay. That didn't do it. Okay. Flash. I didn't think it was on there at all. Hey. Chill. In the meantime, that's it for disk 4. Let's get disk 4 in there real quick. Why? Can I load up what I need to in memory? Something's not configured right with my auto execute and config sys. Don't know exactly what's wrong with it yet, so I'm not knowledgeable enough. Get that going. Alright, thanks, man. See you later. That might be part of it. Oh. Hey. Hey, chill. It doesn't want to move that driver. Alright, well I think since Sam's not on and I'm just kind of at this point trying to figure out DOS stuff, I'll call the stream here. Thanks for all of you who have been watching or whatever, watching after the fact or watching now. just sort of some trials and tribulations of capturing footage off of DOS and getting DOS to work right. But anyway, see you next time. Thanks again. Have a good night, guys.